Okay, so imagine this. You're in a car, get into some road rage situation, you end up getting chased by that guy who's in the car that is you're getting in this road rage situation with, and then he stops you, gets in front of you, stops you, berates you, makes you look like an absolute little bitch, calls you a pussy, your girl's sitting next to you, X, Y, and Z. It is a very embarrassing situation for you, right? Imagine this whole thing happening right now. You leave that situation to go, and then you're just talking to yourself. You know, when you replay all these situations, oh man, if I was bigger, I would have banged them up. If I had like much more confidence, I could have like come out my car and said something back to him. If I was a bit more enlightened, this whole situation wouldn't happen in the first place, right? You're saying all these different things to yourself. You maybe even start berating yourself. You're like, oh, I'm such a pussy. Why did I let that guy do that to me? Or I'm such a little bitch. Like, why did I even get into that situation? I should be above this. Why am I such a dickhead? Like, you start speaking to yourself like this, right? And in this video, I just want to talk about like the self-talk that you have when you're in that situation versus what you could have had to like elevate yourself from these situations. And even if you are in the situation, to help you get your chances of like alleviating this whole situation from beginning in the first place. That's what we're going to get like resolved in this whole video. So the topic of this video is how to love yourself. Like, I have been on this personal development journey for a decade plus, probably like 15 years actually. And it's a fantastic journey. But in the beginning, I had situations where I would get into like many little petty beefs in my own head. Like the guy I'm having that beef with, it could be like someone on the playground, it could be someone in my, like one of my colleagues, even my close friends. Like someone says something, I feel a bit of resentment, and that resentment festers into a braid of like negative spiraling thoughts that make me just like so introspective, so like in my own head. I can't get away from it, right? I'm just like constantly talking about it, and it could be like a week later and I'll replay that situation in my mind again, and I'll give every single situation a like thinking about and say what I should have said next time. And then when next time happens, like because I've not practiced it enough, I just do the same type of shit, right? And I go away like feeling shit about myself, feeling like resentful towards myself, like, oh, why am I such a little bitch for? Why did I do that? Like, I'm negative self-talking to myself, right? And it's like something that a lot of people it's something that a lot of people like experience, because that negative that negative inner voice can be very like pulling, and it can like really drag you down, right? But it's how you get out of that situation that determines like where you're literally going to go in life, because you can have that negative voice from the age of 10 till you're like 90 years old, and you're just constantly having a shit life after like year after year after year. But how to love yourself, right? And there's many different things you can do. You can do therapy, you can read a lot and stuff like that. But what I think it really boils down to is just how you treat yourself on a one-to-one basis when no one's there, no one's looking, and you're just like alone by yourself, or you're going somewhere by yourself. And it's that inner monologue that you have in your mind that everyone like denies they have, but it's always there. It's constantly rattling. Sometimes you can't shut it up unless you've like meditated for years and stuff, right? And when it comes to that inner voice, are you your best friend or are you your worst enemy? Like really think about this, because a lot of people are their worst enemy. They will say, oh, why was I being a bitch in this situation? Or you're such a pussy, or why don't you just be better? Like, you are the worst enemy to yourself. If you hear, like, if someone said that to you in real life, you would get angry. If you spoke to yourself, if someone spoke to you as if you spoke to yourself in real world, you'll get vexed. You'll be like, who the fuck does this guy think they are that talk to me like this, right? But you do this to yourself every single day. Have you not noticed? Unless you're very like self-aware, enlightened, and have consciously practiced this skill of positive self-talk, you will do this naturally, because it is the more natural path to go down that route, because of how society has conditioned us through the news, through like constant barrage of negative news, Instagram stories, like, you know, with when the BLM stuff happened, all these like police videos of just like brutality going on, like all this negative stuff festering in our minds, right? And these, like, seeing all this stuff on socials and everywhere else, everyone else is talking about it, that's the natural pull, is to bring you down. But it takes a resilient mind, it takes someone who has conscious control of their mind to actually start purposefully talking to themselves, like with their inner voice. Little quick side tangent, I remember a video of P Diddy, and he was saying, like, I literally talk to myself out loud. Like, I speak to myself, I'm telling myself, yes, I'm the best, I'm the fucking legend, I'm doing this is what makes me the best. He's like basically just constantly talking to himself out loud, which before he was successful, he was like looking like a crazy person, like a crackhead, because he was just like speaking to himself like as he was walking down the street. But he knew what he was doing. He was controlling his mind and being able to say, like, yes, I am the man, I am that guy. Like, and now look at him, he's like worth 9 figures, and he probably 10 figures now, and he's doing very, very well, right? One technique you can do, okay, it's a little bit cringe. I think I'm gonna do it on this video. I may just do it like a half version, but it's to hug yourself, right? And think about this like this: you need to be your best friend. You need to be literally your one and only best friend, because you are in a relationship with yourself for longer than any other relationship you've had, even longer than your mother, right? Because you're constantly with yourself. The amount of time you've had in this relationship with you and you is non-comparable to any other person in the world, right? So you need to get that positive inner voice aligned with you rather than against you. How do you do that? Cringe, hug yourself, maybe look into the mirror, smile, relax, think about what thoughts come first, and then just start battling them one by one to be like, all right, cool, look, that's not serving me. This is a better thought. I'm grateful for myself for doing this. I appreciate myself for doing this. I'm proud of myself for doing this. The more you do this, you can do it with you hug yourself, you look in the mirror. You can do all these different like ways of doing it, right? But I just suggest, like, for this thing, hug yourself for like 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And then while you're doing that, bear in mind, you want to do this by yourself, because it's probably like looks super weird when you're doing it like in front of other people. And proper cringe. It'll be bare cringe. So just do this by yourself in a dark room. But yeah, talk to yourself as if you are a young child or your own son. Have that relationship with your inner voice and speak to him. Like, look, I know you've been through blah, blah, blah. But, well, I know you've been, when that guy bullied you when you were younger, you acted like a little bitch, but that's okay. You were young, now you're a different type of man now. And I know if this situation were to arise again, you could do something more about it because you're more equipped mentally, physically, emotionally, etc. So I'm in this better situation now. So I forgive my old self for this, but for my new self, I'm equipping myself with these strong new beliefs that are going to help serve me if a situation like this does arise again, etc. You say nice things to yourself. You positively reinforce yourself. If you are a fat shit right now, say, look, I've been a fat shit up till this point, but I'm going to start doing things that's going to change. This is going to change. I'm going to do this. This is who my new identity. Like, you're literally changing your identity for every negative self-talk that you kind of have. And I've elaborated this in another video, but it's like one of those like balance beams where you're like, all right, you have positive thoughts, but you have 10,000 negative thoughts. There will come a point where you just like reinforce the positive so much that it just starts to take more weight than the negative, and all of a sudden now you're positive. Like once it gets to that 50-50 mark, the more you add on the positive, then you will find yourself not needing to go into the negative anymore because the positive is stronger. You have more weight on the positive side of that reinforcement, and that's where you want to get to. It may take a couple of years to get there, but eventually you will get there. If you just keep reiterating with this and keep adding on to the positive, you will get there, and you'll be able to kind of like be like, all right, I'm actually literally a positive person now. I don't need to bullshit anymore. It's literally just who I am. I've changed my identity. Other things you can do is forgive yourself, forgive the other people. Remind yourself of who you want to be and who you are now as this new person, as this new positive person, of the things that you want to think about. So it could be, if you're broke, it could be like business stuff. If you're fat, it could be fitness stuff. If you have a crap relationship, it could be like learning how to have a better relationship or even find a relationship in the first place. And you just want to do this like literally, I'm not joking, every day for the rest of your life. Now, it will start off conscious, but then as time goes on, it'll become more and more unconscious, and you just wake up and think like, yes, I'm the fucking man. All right, I'm gonna do this today, boom. And you start doing it, you're like, yes, tick that off. I'm such a fucking legend. All right, next thing. And you just kind of move on to the next thing like that. It sounds simple and it is probably basic, but I needed to know this when I was younger, because I didn't know that like I was doing this to myself. I thought like these thoughts just revolve around me, and everyone else has like other thoughts, and I can't get out of these type of thoughts. But it's a skill, and it's a practice skill. The more you practice it, the more better you get at it, the stronger your mind becomes, and the more easy it becomes to continue to do it in the long run, just like anything, right? So keep doing that literally for the rest of your life, and you will eventually get to a position where you're like really, truly, sincerely love yourself. And from there, everything gets better. Like you attract better things, you attract better people, you attract better opportunities. You feel good about yourself constantly, which other people can pick up on and get attracted to you in so many different ways. Like more girls will come and speak to you, more guys will want to be near you because you're like, yeah, this guy's actually like really, really cool. You don't come from a needy point, you come from an abundant state because you have an abundance in your mind, and people can pick up on that and they're like, yeah, I actually want a piece of that instead, rather than you always leeching at these different people, right? People want to not leech from you, but they just feel attracted to you. They feel like you've got good energy, and trust me, when that happens, you start living a fantastic life. It's just like people want to be around you, and in life, people are literally the things that hold the most weight. Like you can have all the cars in the world, the massivest houses in the world, but if there was no one living in the world and you were the only person alive, it wouldn't mean anything. But literally, people are the things that you want to like, not like get their approval from, but you want to have good relationships with people. And this is how you do that, by having a healthy inner mind that will translate into a healthy outer mind and a healthy existence on this planet. I hope that helps. I hope I've done this topic justice. But yeah, if you maybe you can let me know in the comments below. But all right, I'll see you in the next video.